Okay, so I'm exposing the Klaviyo flow agency scam for the simple fact that it just drives me nuts. Is that a legit reason? I'm just tired of seeing these ads on my Instagram, so I'm just exposing what is going on behind the scenes. Now, these ads, as you've probably seen them, says like in 30 days we'll set up 12 flows, 15 flows, 17 flows, whatever it is, get you a 3 to 6x ROI, right? Guaranteed, guaranteed, or I'm going to name my firstborn after you. Some stupid shit like that. And let me explain exactly how this is a scam. For this to be a scam, this is very important. There has to be a buyer, right? And so there are brands, there are e-commerce brands who, I'm not saying fall for this, I'm not saying they fall. There are very smart people who purchase this and for very valid reasons, right? So it's not that someone buys this, falls for this because they're stupid. It's for a simple reason, actually. It feels like a smart thing to do, like a logical thing to do even. It's like seems like a simple fix on the surface. Okay, we don't have email flows. We are probably leaking sales, losing revenue. So this feels like a legit solution. Let's set up our flows. Let's install these flows and we'll take care of the problem, right? It feels like the smart thing to do, which is why a ton of even, I've seen size 7, even 8-figure e-commerce brands do this. Pay these guys whatever they charge, $5,000, $8,000, and they set up your whatever 15 flows, right? They keep making up new flows so they can charge you more. So it feels like a legit thing to do. Now, the trap is that, yes, you end up with flows, but what about revenue? And this is a phenomenon that I get that these decision makers, founders, CEOs, CMOs tell me, okay, we have all these new flows and Klaviyo or Omnisend, whichever email app they are using, it's reporting sales. It's reporting new sales. Email is now accounting for whatever. With just flow setup can be 10, 20, 30% even. But our actual revenue is barely moving. And so that is like a strange phenomenon to see. Like we were supposed to generate more revenue. These emails, they are having at least some type of impact, but revenue is barely going up, right? It did go up, but just barely. Here's why this happens, is that at the core of this, the problem that we're solving here is not about having flows. It's about having flows that sells. And it's logical, right? Sounds logical. Except when email marketing, it feels kind of different and people don't realize it at first. When doing when running ads, right? Meta ads, for example, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, it's very easy to know whether an ad is working or not. You can gauge its performance on a simple number, ROAS, for example. If it's high, if it's an over a certain number that you decided, then it's all fine, right? Whatever, 2x. If it's performing at 0.5x, you know there's something off, right? Not so much with flows. You don't know whether they are working like at the extent that they are working or not. So it's different. It's harder to see what is going on in reality. So it's not about having flows. It's about having flows that sell. Now I'm explaining how to do that in a second. But first, let me explain why this matters so much. The difference between just having flows and having flows that sell is massive. Let me show you. Okay, so I'm inside Klaviyo, right? This is a welcome flow data from a year and a half, roughly. So this is a welcome flow that we took over after one of these agencies set up their 12 flows. And look at this. To the left is the old welcome email that they had, welcome email number 1. To the right is the one that we set up. And I edited this. It's not running anymore. You will see why in a reason. So you will see why in a moment. So it doesn't matter that I changed the name of the brand to just a placeholder. What you have to see here is this number right here. This previous all size fits one type of flow, type of welcome email was converting at a 7.5%. Okay, without a proper stick to measure it with, it looks fine on paper. It's generating sales. Except when we set up one of our welcome emails, we actually set up some A/B test inside this email and found even better emails. But on average, we set up some new welcome emails that converted actually more than twice better than this. So the conversion rate was twice higher, 7.5. This is 16. So twice this will be 15. So we're converting slightly higher. And here's what this matters so much. You can see that this welcome email, this is just the first welcome email inside the sequence, has generated nearly $1 million in sales. This one welcome email alone. If this brand kept running this email right here, the one that was set up by one of these Instagram Klaviyo agencies, whatever, they would have lost nearly $500,000 in sales that wouldn't have happened with this underperforming email. Here's the reason why this matters so much. This cheap $5,000, 12, 17 emails, whatever, they by nature, because they simply cannot afford to do all of the heavy lifting, all of the hours that an email like this needs, they simply create these templatized, low converting emails, right? So that is a huge problem for brands at this scale, 7-8-figure e-commerce brands who can afford to pay a premium for better email flows, but they don't. So luckily the founder of this brand realized this and reached out to me about this, about improving their email flows and optimizing them. If they hadn't, they would have left nearly $500,000 on the table with underperforming emails. So that is the reason why this matters so much. For brands in the 7 or 8-figure range who want to scale profitably, they have to squeeze as much revenue out of every single dollar they put into ad spend. But if they have underperforming email flows, they are literally throwing money away. So this is why I say this is a scam. It's wasted money that these brands are paying for. And even though they are getting some results, these email flow setups, they're just generating this out of this, the potential, the total potential that proper email flow setups could generate. So it's wasted traffic, wasted subscribers, wasted acquisition cost. Getting new customers becomes more expensive. These subscribers, they're buying from someone else. They're buying most likely from one of their competitors. So this is essentially bleeding sales every single day without seeing it. That is the problem with email marketing in general. You don't see what you are missing. So this is, at the end of the day, just waste money. Also, here's another reason why this is a scam, and nobody wants you to know this. By the way, side note, I'm Matt Pirelli, founder of Email Engineers. We are an email marketing agency. That is the reason why I'm exposing this, because I'm tired of seeing these ads and knowing deep down that this does not work, because I have been in charge of fixing all of these flows that these type of agencies create. So we, my team and I, are summoned by these brands when they need to actually optimize the flows. So I can say better than anyone else, by having created hundreds of flows in the 5 years that I've been doing this, half a decade, I can say confidently what works and what doesn't. And this all size fits one templatized kind of flows do not work. And here's what's funny, and what I was telling no one wants you to know. When you're an agency, like we are, you can do this little sneaky trick inside Klaviyo. So say you go to your flows, they have created all these flows, right? And they can do this very easily when you have access to multiple accounts. You simply go here, click clone, and clone this to multiple accounts. And you can send this to 10 accounts at one time. And so these brands pay these Instagram agencies. Then there's a guy in the Philippines, just by probability, I'm going by the numbers here, and this guy just cloned this, edits, probably slaps a logo in there. If they're feeling lucky, they are going to run the copy through ChatGPT a little bit, polish it off, call it a day, right? And that's how you get your 12, 17, 1,200 new flows set up in whatever, so weeks instead of months, right? Now, of course, they're going to be low converting. They are literally just cloning flows, templatized flows into an account. How could they expect these emails to convert? It's like cloning ads from one brand into another. It doesn't work. The market is different. It's supposed to be a new strategy, but they're not approaching it like one. And I'm explaining in a second why these emails don't work, right? But it's intuitive. Like if the same message works for 1,000 brands, right? The same email that they just changed the logo. If it's made to work for 1,000 brands, then it works for no one. If it's so generic that it can work for 1,000 brands that they clone this into, how could it possibly have a high conversion rate? It's psychologically impossible. It's different audiences, different markets that every single brand is selling to. So it's logically impossible for these emails to convert, right? Third reason why this is a scam. Any person with a room temperature IQ can set up a welcome flow and generate some sales. And for the simple reason that when someone joins the list through a pop-up, then they receive a welcome email. A small percentage, say 5% of the total audience, is ready to buy at any point of time, right? So they didn't even need this welcome flow to buy. It was just a getaway to the website, and so they click the email and the sale got attributed to that email. But it is not that the email made them buy. It had no persuasion power. If it's so templatized, then it's not generating new sales. It's just collecting the same ones that were going to happen anyway. So that is the third reason why this is a scam, but it's actually one of the most important ones. Same with the cart abandonment flow. Some people just needed a reminder to buy, and so these templatized emails work for them and these people buy, but that is 3 to 5% of the total audience, right? The reason why most people don't end up buying, not because they forgot about their cart, right? They're not stupid. It's because they're not convinced yet. Either they don't desire the products bad enough, or they don't trust the products or the brand bad enough. It's not about reminding them. They know that they didn't complete the order, right? So that is also another reason why most cart abandonment emails don't work, because they're not appealing to the reasons why people are actually abandoning the cart. But that's for another video. So all in all, there are 5 reasons why most email flows conversions suck, and specifically this templatized 100 emails, 3 to 6x return on investment, or we name our firstborn after you type of flows don't work. First is the wrong offer, right? So selling the wrong product, pushing the wrong products or categories across these welcome emails, right? That is a simple one to fix. And by this, I don't mean offer in the get 10% off, although that is part of the offer. Offer is what someone gets in exchange for their money. So it could be packaging a different offer together. Instead of 10% off, if we translate that 10% into, let's say the average order value is $100, so 10% is we're giving them $10 off. Essentially, we're losing $10 in offer margin. So we could package that together rather than get 10% off, get $10 off. That's most likely going to be more appealing, right? And that is going to convert higher for the same traffic. But it's not just about that, the offer, a discount, right? Our core philosophy at Email Engineers is not relying on discounts to get sales, rather rely on increasing the desire for the products and the trust for the products and for the brand. So it's not about the discount, but what you sell, which products you decide to sell. Take a brand that has 100 products. Which one should we feature inside these key emails to increase conversion rates and overall sales, right? That is the first reason why most flow conversion suck. Number two, targeting the wrong awareness stages. So I don't want to make this video any longer, but awareness stages is simply the mental stage in the buying process which someone is in. So say, for example, we are selling a teeth whitening strips kind of thingy. If someone is unaware, they don't even know they need our product, right? So we are not selling to them. Then they become, it's unaware, then it's problem aware. Someone tells them that their teeth look a bit yellowish, right? Okay, now they have a problem. They are now self-aware that they have this problem. Then they're going to start looking for a solution. There are plenty of ways to whiten teeth, right? They can go to a dentist. They can do it at home with plenty of solutions, right? So they have become aware there are different options. Then once they find a product that they like, one solution that they like, there's going to be plenty of products, right? There are plenty of teeth whitening strip thingies, right? So then they start shopping for different products in that same solution branch, right? Hopefully I'm being clear here. And so they shop for different brands, or even if the same brand has different lines of products, very similar products, they shop for that. But most likely someone is going to be shopping across different brands, right? So they become product aware. Finally, they become most aware. They know everything about a product. They are just need a little nudge to buy, right? So the reason why flows have low conversion rates is that they are targeting the wrong awareness stages. If someone is coming from Google Shopping, right, because they literally typed a product name, say it's a gym, I don't know, pre-workout, right? It means that they are in a product aware stage. They know they have a problem, they have low energy during their workout. Plenty of solutions, right? Hydration, whatever, salts, whatever it is. One of those, a branch of that is pre-workout, right? Energy drinks could be another one. But they prefer, for some reason or another, a pre-workout, right? And then they are shopping different pre-workouts, right? So they are shopping different brands. So if we are in our email flows talking to people here, talking about the benefit of pre-workouts, right? These emails won't resonate at all. They will have a low conversion rate. Why? Because these people know already that pre-workouts are the solution. They are already solved on that decision, right? They are now shopping for different pre-workout supplements. So it's a big difference. What we are selling is different. We are no longer selling the idea of pre-workouts. They are sold on that. We need to sell them on the idea of our pre-workout. So it's a completely different sale that we have to make. And so that is a key reason why most email flows conversion rate sucks, especially this, again, I'm repeating myself here, but that is the theme of this video. This 2000 flows in one, get 20x return investment guaranteed, and I'm going to name our newborn and their son after you, right? I'm increasing the stakes by a minute. Third reason, wrong sentiment. We make our decisions with emotions and justify them using logic. We've heard that 1,000 times as marketers. Yet most flows, most email marketing in general, I will even go ahead more marketing in general, but being specific with email marketing, it's too logical. It competes on specs, features, prices, right? Benefits even, which is all too logical. So these hyper logical emails, best case scenario, gets you, your brand, competing on price, which is never a good place to be in. Worst case, they don't resonate at all. Why? Because we make our decisions with emotions. So unless we are appealing to a powerful sentiment, an emotional sentiment, emails will do nothing. And I have examples of this, which I'm pointing later in the video. But in actual, what I mean by emotional sentiments, which are little ways to open the sale, get people to care about what we are selling in the first place, and get people to know that we understand them, and then open the sale, make it possible. It's going to be linked later on. Because if we fail to do this, if we fail to appeal to emotion, all of our emails will enter through one eye, come out through the other, type of thing, right? Simply won't work. Fourth, wrong belief. If we don't have a belief that we are appealing to, one thing that we want to make them believe, then how can we possibly expect the sale to happen if we are not building towards that one belief? For example, the belief that having wider feet is going to be critical for my self-confidence, and that is going to be critical for my career, for example. That is a belief which is attached to a sentiment. If we don't build towards that belief, then again, the email will simply do nothing. Simply going to roll off their brains like water from a duck. So that is the fourth reason. And the final reason is the wrong delivery. Like, you know how comedians say that delivery is 99% of a joke, how you say the thing. A bad stand-up comedian, for example, can say the exact same words than a good comedian, but by having the delivery off, then the same joke is unfunny, right? And so that is another reason why some emails simply do not work, because they are saying the thing, right? Let's say they get all of this right. This is the what to say, but how they say it simply does not resonate. Either they end up, I've seen some emails that simply, without them meaning to, offend people. Some emails offend people because they think subscribers are stupid, right? Other emails offend people in the way that they say things, right? So for example, doing finger pointing and raising people guards up, right? It's impossible to sell someone if their guards are up, right? If they are triggered in a way. So I call this ham wrapping. And it's from that story that if you're told that you need to give your dog a pill, a medicine, right? If you try to shove it directly into his throat, right? He's going to bite you. He's going to chop one of your fingers. But instead, if you wrap it in ham in someone that he enjoys eating and he doesn't perceive as a threat, he's going to eat it. He's going to get the medicine. He's going to absorb it, right? Same we are doing here. We want them to absorb the message, process it, right? If we trigger their guards up, there's zero chances of moving the sale forward, right? And you can see when an email does this by their unsubscribes. So these are the 5 steps, and it happens from people simply copy pasting best practices, right? So they have templatized email structures. In email 1, it's welcome to the family. Email 2 is a welcome from the founder. Email 3 is a reminder about your discount. Email 4 is our bestsellers. Email 5 is last chance. Typical best practices, right? But again, if it can work for everybody, then it's so generic that it won't work for anybody. So that is the problem here. And that is why we created Conviction OS, which is a operating system OS for creating high converting emails time after time after time. 6 steps, which is exactly what we went through. I just keep the segment, who is this for? Because with flows, we know exactly who we're targeting. But it's steps 1 to 6. And if we follow them in order, we generate high converting emails. Like the example, like the welcome email example that I show you, that had a twice higher conversion rate. And it generated an extra $500,000 that the other email wouldn't have generated, right? And there's going to be a link somewhere now in the video to watch a video that explains literally every single step of Conviction OS. And it's going to be linked in the description, somewhere in this video now, or in the comments somewhere, so you can check it out. Now, funny, not long ago, I received an email from a reader of my daily email. You can subscribe. There's also going to be a link somewhere in the description. Email moneytopia.com. There's going to be a link for that. And he replied to one of my emails where I talk about email strategies, tactics, and so on. He replied with this: there are many people out here on Instagram marketing who will set up X number of flows for you in 30 days, which is what I say. But what are they really going to do for a few grants they are charging people? One in particular, I asked a client and she said it wasn't really worth her money. They couldn't get the 3 to 6x ROI promised. Save for your time looking for. So it's funny. This guy was clever enough to contact, I don't know how he found her number from a past client. She probably complained directly into one of this guy's ads, which is funny. But they couldn't even get the low return on investment that they promised. And again, but it's really impossible not to get sales on these type of flows, right? Because there are some people who are buying regardless of the email, and because they use it as a getaway to the website, it gets attributed to emails, but it's not new sales. So that is the problem here. Anyway, side story, I had to cut Monsters back. I used to drink at least 1 can a day. I actually have a Monster fridge in my apartment, and it's full of different flavors, right? I used to drink 1 a day. Like, I wasn't an addict. I could have stopped at any time, just didn't want to. And because they were so good. And those who follow me know about a concoction that I created called Zeus Sap, which was a mix of white Monster, yerba mate, which is like an Argentinian energy herb type of thing, and pure tea, right? So it was like a gram of caffeine, right? But eventually my chest started hurting, so that was concerning. So I just cut them off for a moment, right? Temporarily. But anyway, saying we already have flows is like going to the doctor with chest pain and he says, well, your heart's technically still beating, so you're good. Technically, yes, but you may want to look a little closer into what is happening, right? So that is the purpose of this video. Beware with those type of setups. I get that if you are in the 6-figure range, then yes, it does make sense for you. If you're in the 5-figure range, so basically if you're newer to eCom, you don't want 17 flows. You just need 3 really good flows. Same for the 6 figures, right? And if you're in the 7 figures, then you need every single one of your flows done right, because you could be leaving, as it was the example of this brand, half of your revenue on the table, right? So again, I'll link to a video where I explain Conviction OS and how to generate emails that have a 10 to 12 times higher conversion rate than the industry average. It's gonna be somewhere in the description of this video or in the comments. I'm Matt Pirelli. It's been a pleasure having you here today. Bye.